Hopefully we're live now. Hey guys, how you doing? It's a boys' night tonight. I've just realised.
Yeah.
Yes,
How
actually.
you doing? We've got Twan, we've got Nick, we've got Justin, we've got Dylan. What's going on, boys?
Hi.
Silence.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you all?
Great, yeah. Doing good.
I'm good at Twan. I have to say, what a jacket tonight.
It's the exact same jacket that someone from UMK was wearing in their video, but
Oh, really?
They
Who?
the Finnish long title, Portion Boys, they stole my jacket.
They saw your jacket.
Yeah, I got proof.
All right, okay. Just say hello to Giant Johnson in the live chat as well. But guys, we're like, I was thinking about it today, and we've what, like 7 weeks now, 6 or 7 weeks since Liverpool. How many weeks? 7 weeks.
I don't even know how long it's
Work
been.
it out.
I've lost count.
And I had to go into work yesterday, and there's people I haven't seen for ages because obviously, you know, it's a kind of hybrid working now. Not everyone is in the office every day, and people are like, "Oh, how was Eurovision?" And I'm like, "God, we talked about Eurovision ages ago." And I was trying to work out. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it's 7.5 weeks ago. That is insane. Like we've got like
It's been so long.
10 months now to go until Eurovision in Sweden. And if you think about it, only like 5 months until we probably have our first national selection, which is it was Vidbeer, wasn't it?
This year it was, yeah.
It will probably I'm assuming it will be FIK in Albania again in December. Like 5 months away. It's crazy. Like we barely get a break, but we are kind of on a break, but we're here to talk to you guys. Hello to Vladimir as well from Skopje. We've got Rye Bailey in the house. We've got Lee Fern. Lee Fern, I saw that you did like a whistle-stop trip to Ireland as well this week. Hope you had fun. But guys, not much news to talk about, apart from we got an announcement about a national selection from a country that we rarely talk about for obvious reasons, but it's Luxembourg. So who wants to give kind of all the info on Luxembourg's national selection? You're going to leave that to me.
I kind of know something about it. I know that the broadcaster has opened their submissions, I think, for a national fund that's being held at the end of January. I'm not sure about the precise date.
Yeah, 27th Jan.
Yeah, and singers and songwriters can submit in 3 different categories. So just singers without a song, singers with a song, or just songwriters. And the important thing is that the artist has to have some kind of connection with Luxembourg, or has to have lived in Luxembourg for some time, because they really want to keep the Luxembourg culture in Eurovision, which I think is a really good thing. And I'm really excited to see what Luxembourg has in store for us.
Yeah, I did. I have to say, I did wonder. I mean, I'm just having a look through kind of the conditions of that people have to, or the criteria. So they obviously have to be over 16 by 27th of Jan. That's an obvious one. Available and flexible between November and May. Possess live singing abilities and feel at ease on a large stage. How they're going to kind of qualify that just through the application process, I'm not so sure. They have to hold Luxembourgish nationality or have resided in Luxembourg, as you said, for at least 3 consecutive years, or exhibit a strong cultural involvement and proven connection with the Luxembourgish music scene. So looking at Luxembourg's history, obviously they've used performers from different countries. We've had kind of, one of their winners, a couple of their famous entries were Greek, a lot of French performers. We've had Canadian performers and from other countries as well. It's nice to see they're really putting a focus on it being culturally linked to Luxembourg, and they're not just going out and kind of grabbing any singer from any country. Dylan, let's come to you. Obviously, very close to Luxembourg, and I'm just going to have a little cough while you're talking.
I don't know what to say about Luxembourg, except that I'm actually very excited for this national selection. I was a bit surprised by the criteria. I think it is shortening a bit the potential applicants, because how can you also quantify the strong link we have with Luxembourg? Let's be honest, if you I mean, if you have like one of your parents from Luxembourg, that might work. But if you have just worked with a Luxembourgese music producer, for instance, is it enough or not? So I'm surprised because, to be honest, I don't know much about the Luxembourgese music scene, and I'm looking forward to see what they have in storage for us. That being said, my biggest question is about the language, because as far as I remember, Luxembourg used to sing either in French, German, or Luxembourgese, but I don't remember of any or not so many entries in English. And I wonder what will be the stance on this, since the contest has evolved so much in the past 30 years since the left. So it will be interesting, yes.
Yeah, and you talk about language. There's no stipulation on the language, so they can enter a song in any language. I personally, I think we're going to get a mix of all three. I think there'll be some artists that will want to kind of show off the Luxembourgish language, which is kind of like a mix of German and French, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
kind of
like an in between. But yeah, I think we're probably going to get a song in English or French when it comes to Eurovision next year. Just really, really happy that we're actually talking about a Luxembourg participation. Nick, you're so young, you probably don't even know any Luxembourg entries at Eurovision, do you?
Well, not really. I just know that they were really successful while they participated. But I wonder, while they participated, were all participants from Luxembourg? Were they connected, or it was just so it wasn't necessary to be connected to Luxembourg before?
No, I think based on my knowledge, and Justin, you might be better at this than me, but I think most of or a significant amount of their participations were with non-Luxembourgish performers. So I'm just trying to think of their winners. I think were either French or Greek. You had Lara Fabian, who obviously is a big star worldwide, represented Luxembourg, and she's I think Canadian. I forgot that right.
She's French Canadian, yeah.
French Canadian. I'm trying to think. I know there was one Luxembourgish band, I think, that took part in 1989, but I think it's mainly been kind of foreign participants that have taken part for them over the years. How was that?
The big one that comes to my mind is Vicky Leandros.
Of course, yeah. I was going to say "Come What May," which was the English translation. I can't remember what the actual song was called. Someone help me out.
I don't remember. I remember barely 2 or 3 entries from Luxembourg.
Après-toi. That was it.
Oh, that was it. Yeah.
Après-toi. This is when we need Jess for her song titles. Anyway, I'm just quickly going to go to the live chat, Justin, and then we will come to you. And we have got thank you, Gingerbread. Après-toi was the name of the song. Lee Fern, you remember watching the contest last time Luxembourg took part in '93? They should have done better. It's your fave song ever. Wow. What, out of the whole of Eurovision? We're gonna have to go back and watch that. We've got hello, Mr. System in the live. How you doing? Fab, you're just confirming that Luxembourg's most popular entries were in French. Guys, can someone let us know if they ever submitted an entry in English? I can't think of one. I can only think of entries in French or Luxembourgish. Fab also saying agrees with you, Dylan. The criteria feels quite strict. Yeah, I can see that. It seems they've really focused down on the Luxembourg,
which is fair. I mean, we were all craving to see more about the Luxembourgese music scene. So let's wait a few months more, and they can just adjust the criteria if something goes wrong for the next year.
I mean, like, objectively, they are returning, and they should definitely send something that represents Luxembourg this year. Mm-hmm. And like in the future, they might not have that strict rules, but for the first entry in a lot years, they should actually, in my opinion, choose something that is really connected to their country. So I think it's fair to have those rules for this year or next year.
Yeah, it's actually making me feel really old because I'm looking at you and Twan and even Dylan. I can't remember how old you were. You weren't even alive, were you? You weren't born when Luxembourg last took part in Eurovision.
Just you and me, Andy.
Oh gosh. And I actually remember watching it on TV as well. That's even worse. We've got. I said hello to Gingerbread. We've got Clavs as well in the house. How you doing, Clavs? Fab. You're from Paris. Bonsoir. Le Paris. Sorry, my French accent is so bad. Gingerbread, you're saying Luxembourg should be an automatic qualifier this time, returning after so long. Why not? I don't disagree with you. Justin, what do you think?
I would totally support that. I think it's a great idea.
And especially with the televote only system, given that Luxembourg is a smaller country and smaller countries tend to do worse at televote, I'm kind of worried about their televote. So I wouldn't mind them being given like a final spot, just like Australia, for example.
Yeah. We haven't got a lot to go on really with Luxembourg because it has been so long, so we don't really know where their points are going to come from. We're assuming that kind of the Benelux countries are going to be their best friends in terms of points giving next year, but we've not really got any history because Eurovision has changed so much. Obviously, there was no televote back in those days. You would assume as well that if they're going to be sending a song in French and France are able to vote in the relevant semi-final or the final if it comes down to it, that they'd be getting some points from France as well. But we're talking about a country with no real diaspora around Europe or the world, a small population. So yeah, it makes me a little bit fearful about how they might do when it comes to next year. And what really scares me is that if they do really badly, that they just throw in the towel straight away because it's
exactly.
taken so much to get them back. So yeah, I really hope that we get some strong contenders in this national selection. I mean, Twan, you're obviously from the Netherlands, which is not quite a neighbour of. Is it a neighbour of Luxembourg?
No, not really,
No, not
but quite close.
I'm thinking of Belgium, aren't I? Belgium.
Yeah.
But obviously, kind of in the Benelux region, or not? I'm looking at my geography.
Yeah, no, it is. It is.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just below Belgium.
So, are we seeing Netherlands as a potential friend of Luxembourg next year?
I would say so, because as you're mentioning the Benelux, which is obviously Belgium, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, which are very close friends with each other, and a lot of Dutch people have actually been to Luxembourg, including myself. So I can see the Netherlands supporting Luxembourg a lot.
Joanne saying Luxembourg could even send a song in German.
True.
Yeah,
It's a good point actually, because we always see Luxembourg as being linked more to France, but that's not necessarily the case, is it?
Well, culturally, Luxembourg is closer to France than it is to Germany, to be honest. If you go there, and the way, like the cultural life in Luxembourg is more oriented toward France. But they have a strong German component in the national culture, which makes it like a very good mix and a very interesting mix, actually. And I do think that they could send a song in German and it would be quite popular. We have also German-speaking countries neighboring Luxembourg that could give it some votes. I think also this year's return is going to be a real challenge because they have never participated in a contest where there was a national final implemented before. So you don't know how the public vote wasn't implemented back then. I don't think so. It might be really interesting, but I would also say that in the end, the general audience might be very happy to have one more country taking part in the contest. And the full storytelling about Luxembourg coming back 30 years after the last participation or 31 years after the last participation might actually get some popularity boosts. It will be one of the first, probably one of the first national selection as well. So the song could do well in a kind of a promo tour across the neighboring countries. So yeah, definitely, I could see Luxembourg going through, despite it being a challenge. And I don't fear that if they are doing poorly in this year contest, they might not join after. They do know that it's like a marathon and not just like a sprint running. So in the end, they probably have, all kind of alternative options organized.
Yeah, I mean they've had a hell of a long time to kind of observe the contest evolve. So hopefully they do know what they're going into and what the potential risks are as well for a smaller nation. But hey, hopefully they've watched someone like San Marino, who as yet has never thrown in, maybe for a couple of years, but has not thrown in the towel yet. Has continued to participate and qualified through to the final a few times as well. I mean, maybe we could see like some American rapper be brought over for like a feature on a Luxembourg entry. We will see. I just got to say, Benny, thank you so much for confirming that their 1974 entry had some English, but it was mostly in French. Okay. Let's just have a look at the comments here as well. Gingerbread, you think it would be a risk sending a song? Sorry, that's the wrong comment. You think it would be a risk sending a song in German? Possibly unlikely anyway. I think it would most likely be in French or English. And Joanne, you're looking forward to Luxembourg returning. So other news, not really news, but we're expecting... I've not seen anything official, but we're expecting a host city announcement on Friday. I don't think that will be the announcement of the host city per se, unless I'm getting something wrong here. But I think it might just be an announcement about the process.
I'm not sure. I did hear that the host city would be announced this week or sometime soon, but I'm not sure if it's actually this week. But I'm fairly sure that we can expect it this month. Like the month of July.
It seems really early though.
It is, but it's SVT. Sweden's always very, very on top of everything.
It's usually around this time.
And to be fair, they don't have many cities to choose from. I think only 4 cities applied are in the race, opposed to the many cities that were in the race last year. So that does make it a lot easier.
Okay, so I'm just going to go around. Where are we going? Where do you want to go, Dylan?
Well, I would personally go to Stockholm because I would love to see the contest going back into a capital city. It's been a while since Lisbon, actually. So, why not? Just breaking this new tradition. I would like to go to Stockholm. On the other hand, with the venue issues, I'm not so sure we can go there. And I don't know if creating from scratch a temporary arena would be a good idea. The carbon impact would be bad, and I think it would throw some shade at the contest in general. So if we can't go to Stockholm, then I would like to go to Göteborg.
Okay, Justin. I mean, I identify as Swedish in my heart, so I don't care. I think it will be Malmo, but I hope that it's Gothenburg.
Oh, Nick.
I'd say Göteborg just because we already had Stockholm and Malmo, so in recent years, let's say in last 10 years. So it would be nice to see a new town hosting. So, yeah.
Antoine.
I agree with what Lee is saying in the comments that we should give it to Örnsköldsvik, which is the small town that applied. I would just love for SVT to pull such a move. They do have an arena and shows from Melfest have been hosted there. So technically it would be possible. It's not going to happen, let's be fair, but I would love to see such a small town host an event like that.
It would be nice. It's not just about an arena, is it? It's about kind of being able to put up tens of thousands of people.
They can build tents for as hotels.
Go to IKEA. We'll
IKEA. Where will I stay? That's all I'm thinking about.
No, but realistically, I think it's going to be Malmö.
Yeah, I'm going to say that Malmo is my preference. I've only been to Stockholm before. I've not been to Malmo or to Gothenburg. I would prefer Malmo because it's a city that kind of since I saw it host Eurovision in 2013, I think it was. You know, I've always really wanted to see it. So, and it's quite easy for me to get to without flying as well. Being selfish again. So, yeah.
And another thing about Stockholm is that Taylor Swift has added another date to her shows. So she's got 3 shows in Stockholm now.
Oh, she's really looking to be off the Eurovision.
Yeah.
Or she's trying to get an invite from a small national selection we might have talked about earlier.
Well, we did speak about this before. As to, I mean, she's going to be in Sweden, so she could be this year's final interval act potentially. They had Justin Timberlake last time it was in Sweden, so you know, if they're not going to have ABBA reuniting, which looks unlikely, then perhaps we could have a Taylor Swift.
I just hope if that's the case that they don't announce it beforehand, because otherwise all the Taylor Swift fans will get the tickets, which will not be nice. Sorry.
Yeah, a really good point, actually. But yeah, okay. So other than that, no news. But we will see what comes on Friday. Whether we actually get a host city announcement, might be that we're getting the dates. I don't know. We will see. But guys, we're going to move on to talk about some Eurovision countries. I'm going to get you all to pick a random number. So basically, I've got 1 to 48. I've got all the Eurovision or most of the Eurovision participants in a random order. And Justin, I'm going to come to you first to pick a number between 1 and 48.
I'm going to do it. 13.
Oh. And you have picked 13. It's Slovenia.
Oh.
Ooh. Okay.
Let's talk about Slovenia at Eurovision. I want to know, guys, first of all, your favourite Slovenian Eurovision entry, Justin.
In recent times, it has to be Joker Out. Like,
choice.
I just seeing them live at the Eurovillage. Just something clicked in my head because I wasn't a massive fan of the song going into the contest, but seeing them live, they were almost giving me an INXS vibe on stage, and they just worked really well together, and the song was amazing.
Yeah, I have to say I was really disappointed with kind of the final position for Slovenia at Eurovision this year. I thought they were going to do much better. I mean, getting through to the final in itself is great with the song in Slovenian, but they, in terms of kind of watching an act pick up a huge fandom during the course of being selected through to Eurovision, I don't think I've seen anyone pick up as many fans as Joker Out did this year.
Not from this year's contest. I think really not since Måneskin. They're sort of heading towards that same trajectory. I mean, they've been doing sold-out shows every week throughout Europe, which is amazing for them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think they performed in the UK recently as well, and they had to move to a bigger venue. I really want to see this band go on to good things because I think they've got the potential to be really successful kind of outside Slovenia. Nick, your favourite Slovenian entry?
I'd have to choose between Joker Out and Lasiak from 2018 because I just loved those two songs. Joker Out was such a vibe, as we already said, but Lea was also very inventive and very badass, and she was a star on a stage, and I really liked that, enjoyed that performance back then. So yeah, if I cannot choose Joker Out, I would definitely choose Lea.
Wasn't it Lea Sirk that had the bit where the lights went off or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that. Wasn't one of my favourites going into Lisbon, but I think seeing it performed live, it was one that really grew on me. I have to say, I'm getting a bit of a Joker Out vibe from you tonight, Nick, with like Boyan, with the hair.
Yeah.
Right, Twan.
Is this even a question?
Oh, I don't even need to ask you. No.
Obviously, it's Voda by Anna Soklic. That song still has my heart. I love it so much.
And you were a big fan of Our Men as well, which so was Fab in the live chat as well. One of your favourites. Right, go on, Dylan, your favourite Slovenian.
It was Slovenia 2018. Last year. I really loved it. I thought she had a really great presence on stage, and the song was really nice, very entertaining, something you can dance on very easily. It was really, really something I liked a lot.
We've also got some more love. ESC Manga for Valane as well. Gingerbread, you're saying 1995, which I think someone else has said in here.
I think that's Prishuni Me or something like that.
Prishuni Me.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that was a beautiful song, actually. Yeah, Gingerbread, Joker out as well, and Daria Svaja. I'm not sure how to say it. Which I think was one of their best positions as well. Someone in the live chat can correct me. I think it came 7th. Is that Slovenia's best result so far? Ray Moore as well. Sebi was great. Obviously from Tel Aviv 2019. Again, a song that I didn't get when I first saw it announced, but wow, did that kind of grow on me during the Eurovision season in 2019. And quite a hypnotic, intense song to listen to and watch as well. I'm going to go with one that none of you have mentioned, but I'm hoping it's still one that is liked. And it's actually, I can't quite remember the year, but it's No One by Maya.
That's 2011, I think.
Yeah, My Couch.
Absolutely shocked. For me, going into that contest, that was a top 3 contender. Absolutely loved that song. I loved the power. She had a fantastic voice as well and great stage presence. And it's just really the instrumental of that song that is everything for me, just how it builds. Kind of a little bit maybe James Bondish, I don't know, in kind of the instrumental.
I can see that, yeah.
But I think it came 13th, and that was a big shock for me that year, and a huge disappointment because, like I said, I saw it as being one of the contenders for that year. So there you go. Any other honourable mentions from Slovenia that you guys would like to mention?
All their entries. Now, my biggest honourable mention is 2014, Round and Round by Dinka Rakovac. That was one of my favourites in 2014, and I'm really disappointed that did so poorly in the final.
Wasn't a huge fan. I'll tell you another one that I did like, though, and it was Rebecca someone.
2008 in Belgrade.
Oh, was that Energy?
No. I was going to have to check on my phone. And while I'm doing that, Dylan, you can think of a number between 1 and 48. 17, which is Malta. However, I'm going to tell you it was songs. It was Rebecca. Where is it? Rebecca Dramay. I can't say this. Vragnajvzame.
Oh yeah, I love that song.
And it didn't qualify, just missed out on going through to the final. Anyway, Malta, wow, a country that has still not won Eurovision. But Dylan, let's come to you. Pick the country. Your favourite from Malta.
Okay, so this might be a bit controversial, but I really liked Chameleon. I think it was from Tel Aviv, so 2019, I think. And the singer, I can't remember her name. Michaela something. No, just Michaela, I don't know. But yeah, I like the song. It had something that, the kind of song that stick in your head and you can think of and sing easily. I don't know, it had good vibes. It was something that very kind of sugar pop, and definitely something I liked that year. Yes.
It was, and it came just outside the top 10, I think, didn't it?
I think it came 14th 14 or 15 or something
Just
like
having a
that.
look, yeah, 14th.
Yeah.
But I agree, a really good entry by Malta. I'm just having a look through the list to see if I can find what my favourite is. But any other, and I'm also going to have to call out my mum's favourite, which is so cheesy. But do you remember the On Again, Off Again?
I love that song.
Yeah.
Oh, my mum absolutely loves that song. But Justin, over to you for Malta.
Well, I knew you were going to bring up Malta, so this is actually the jumper from your Malta interview with the busker.
Oh my God! Yes, of course it is.
Yes, I have so many Maltese favorites. I'm struggling to pick one. I mean, obviously Destiny, both of her songs, Kiara, Angel. I'd have to say the one that is still on rotation in my playlist is Firelight Coming Home from 2014.
Oh, that was the one that was kind of like what was the band called?
Firelight.
No, not Mumford and Sons. Was it Mumford and Sons? It was like that kind
Yeah,
of
a little, yes.
vibe.
Yes.
Really
Yes,
like
it
that.
was,
I'm coming home. Is that
that's the one. That's the one.
Good choice. Right, Nick.
I'd say that I'm not the biggest fan of Maltese entries in general, but I loved Ira Loska, her second entry, Walk on Water, until I saw the performance because I don't like the staging at all. But the song as a studio cut was very good in my opinion, so that would be my choice. And also, she vocally wasn't the best, but she was pregnant, so that was a plus for her.
I remember it's
In Stockholm.
2016, wasn't it?
2016, yes.
Twan, before we come to you, I'm just going to say ESC Manga saying a Chameleon as well. It was amazing. Rye Bailey, your fave is Chameleon, Malta. Any others in the live chat? Your favorite Maltese entries? Lee Fern is saying Mary Spiteri, 1992, Little Child, and Kiara and Angel from 2005. Fab, you're saying you never understood how Seventh Wonder was so popular and gave winner vibes to so many fans. Okay, came second, didn't it? I think
It did, and I'm going to go on that ride because it's one of my favorites. I've got two actually. For both, I'm going to go back to years before I was born. The first one is Seventh Wonder from 2002, and the second one is from 1997. It's Let Me Fly by Debbie Scary. That's such a beautiful song. I really love it.
Oh, and I don't want to annoy all the Maltese, but I'm having a look through the list, and there's nothing that hugely jumps out at me as being a song that I'm majorly in love with. But I have to say, and this is so obvious, I'm going to have to say the Busker. Absolutely, I will always love them and that song and that performance. But I'm also going to call out another one that me and Clara actually listened to quite a bit while we were in Liverpool. And I think it's a song that didn't even qualify through to the final when it participated. And it was 2008 and Vodka. Does anyone remember it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's my favorite, but for me, it's catchy as hell. And we were just listening to it over and over again about vodka. It's all about like a spy, isn't it? Or I don't know. But yeah, some good songs by Malta. But actually, looking at the list, Chameleon. I have to say as well, Ira Losko's second entry. I was never a huge fan of Seventh Wonder. It was a little bit too nice and sickly for me, but definitely Walk on Water. I think she had a song change that year as well, didn't she?
Yeah, she did. She was supposed to sing a song called Chameleon, but it was performed in some kind of public setting before, so that's why it was changed.
Yeah, and then they came back 3 years later with a song called Chameleon.
Yeah.
A bit weird. But yeah, there you go. And the Firelight one that you mentioned as well. But there's been some really cheesy entries from Malta, which have just been a bit too sickly for me over the years as well. Right. Who's gone? Dylan, Justin. Right, Twan, you're next.
37.
Is Bosnia and Herzegovina.
Oh, that's I gotta think about that one. Let me look it up.
Can I go first? Because I know I have two, and I know exactly what they are.
Well, you go first. And
I'm going to go first. So my first one is Svabol Sveta from 1993, their first entry. It's just fills me with nostalgia. I remember watching that. Live, kind of in 1993, even though I wasn't born at that point. And I still listen to the song and watch the performance a lot today. It just brings back so many memories, and it's quite haunting for me as well to watch it, knowing what was going on in the country at that time, and the story behind it, and the national selection, and how the song was selected, and how they got to Mill Street, kind of when Sarajevo was under siege. I just think it's a beautiful entry, and really surprised that it didn't do better. And I remember we were just talking about Malta, and I remember it getting 12 points from Malta, I think, when it came to the voting. I might have got that wrong, but I'm pretty sure that Malta gave Bosnia and Herzegovina 12 points. My second, and I can't separate these two, is Maya Sar with is it Koraki Tisnam?
Yeah.
Yes.
2012.
Absolutely beautiful. But I have to say the studio version for me over the live performance. The live performance was missing something, but when I watched the video or I listened to the studio version, it's absolutely stunning, that song. So they're my two favorites. But Twan, have you chosen now?
Yeah, one of them is Korakatisnam. But then to be original, I say another one, which is maybe an unpopular choice. It's 2008 Pokushai. That's just a really enjoyable song for me.
Is that the washing line?
Yeah, it's.
Yes.
I don't know what about it, but it's really, really enjoyable and really nice for me.
Nick,
I just want to add that that song was a huge hit in Serbia back then. I'd also have to say, like, honestly, my favorite one is Maya Sar, but I also really enjoyed 2011 Love and Rewind. I just wish it was sang in Bosnian rather than in English, but it was, in my opinion, very good entry. And Maya Sar was a backing vocalist, and she played piano, so yeah, that's a plus.
Yeah, it's talking about these songs really makes me miss having Bosnia and Herzegovina in the content, because they had so many great entries, I think. Justin.
So my number one for Bosnia and Herzegovina would be 2016, their last ever entry, Ljubav by Dina and Dalal.
Interesting choice.
I just thought I loved it. I still listen to it today. I get that the staging was a bit crunchy, with their folded up hypothermia jackets, and it wasn't great, but the song itself, I think it really was one of their best. And also, I still have a soft spot for Love and Rewind.
Right, Dylan, over to you. Bring us home.
I would say Leia from 2006.
I love that one.
Harry Mata Harry, and I really liked it. It's the kind of song I still listen to sometimes, and it makes me really regret the fact that Bosnia and Herzegovina is not in the contest anymore. And I love the fact that they had for so long Bosnian language for their selection, for their songs. It added a little touch that is something that I'm looking forward when I'm, discovering the new songs for the next edition. I like when a country sings in a language, and I think that Bosnia and Herzegovina does very well at that.
Yeah, really. I mean, if you don't count 2016, where they just kind of came back for that 1 year, they've been gone. But when it comes to next year, they've been gone for 12 years out of Eurovision, really. And I'm just having a look at the list of songs, and there's so many on here that I love. You've got Maria Sestic from 2007. Do you remember that one? Beautiful song. Layla, who Harry Matahari, who someone mentioned. Regina from 2009 as well. Of course, Dino Merlin. But I'm going to say about Dino Merlin song from 1999 as well. Do you remember that? Was it Pudnici, I think, which meant passengers. I think if I've got that right. Was another great entry with Beatrice, who I think was a French artist.
Don't remember.
I do remember that the song was in French and in Bosnian or Serbian.
Yeah, it was.
I think.
It was in French and Bosnian. Another
Yeah.
great entry. Let's have a look. Lee Fern, you're saying Pudnici in 99 was very different from anything else. That's why it did well. One of the best results for Bosnia as well, 1999. Well, I think Layla did well, didn't it? I think that came third.
Yeah, I think that's our best result.
Yeah.
And Love and Rewind as well, I think might have been top 5. I'm just having a look. 6. Love and Rewind, and then 1999 they came 7th. So actually, he got 2 of the best results for Bosnia and Herzegovina. Hey, Sarah O'Halloran, you're saying Maya Sarr as well. I'm really surprised actually that a lot of you are going for Maya Sarr, because whenever I seem to say that's one of my favourites, people are always like quite surprised by it. So I'm loving your taste. Gingerbread, you're saying Dino was great in 99 and 2011. Bosnia must return. Obviously, we've had confirmation that they're not returning next year, so we will have to wait at least another year before we see them back. But it's just every time we talk about them, I just realise how much I miss them. We've got Alexander as well from Macedonia. Hello to you, Alexander. Let's have a look. We've got Fab S. You're saying Layla is one of your favourites. Lee Fern, just going back to Malta, you're saying you were never a fan of Walk on Water either. So, right, who hasn't picked? Justin, have you picked?
Yeah, it is.
Nick.
I'd say 33.
Oh, La France. I think
that's a hard one.
Yeah, there's so many.
Yeah, exactly. That's why.
Yeah, it is a hard one. I enjoy most of them, and I listen to them a lot because I love French language and I study it, and I'm a French language teacher. So it's very close to me. I'd say Voila as an obvious choice. Also, sonically, I really enjoyed Évidemment. I wasn't the biggest fan of the performance of the staging, but I loved the studio cut. Also, Merci, Madame et Monsieur. It was that the returning of national selection, Destination Eurovision, when they picked quite a modern song that is very radio friendly, that I listened a lot. That's what comes to my mind right now. But yeah, I do enjoy most of them. Also, Requiem, 2017. Yeah, I love most of them.
We have to come to you now, Dylan.
Well, it's hard to say. I love so many of these entries. One that I love and I haven't heard in a while actually is Amina. I think it was 1991. Yeah.
Oh yes.
C'est le dernier qui a parlé. And I really loved that one, but I think it was the last time we had we finished, I think, first ex aequo, so let's say second. But since then, I loved also Merci, Madame Monsieur. That was one of my favorites, all-time favorite. I love the song, I love the staging, I love the radio cut. Everything was really, really nice to me. And I also love some of the funny entries. I wouldn't say they are troll entries, but nonetheless, they are quite funny and they are different from the other entries the French are sending. Because one thing about the French is we like to think everything is too serious. So it's nice when the contest doesn't go this way for us. And that's why I love Moustache, for instance. It was something really, really, yes, it was really funny. And I loved it because despite the fact that it finished last, well, it was a nice song and everybody enjoyed dancing on that song. It was really a nice moment.
It was for me. Mustache at the time could have been a massive like radio hit, even in the UK. It was so current for me at that time, even though it was a bit jokey. Shouldn't have come last. Absolutely loved that one. And Amina as well. Like it's like an iconic French Eurovision entry. Justin, have your lights gone out? It's just in there.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I need to turn your lights back on, buddy.
Hey.
Oh, there we go.
Sorry, I'm not sure. Something comes to my phone.
Justin, let's come to you then. France at Eurovision.
Oh, it's so hard to pick. Okay, I'll do one classic and one recent. So from the early days, I'm going to throw back to before you were born, Andy. 1960, Tom Pillaby. It's just it makes me smile every time I hear it.
Jacqueline Boyer.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We were barely not born, right? Yeah.
No.
From modern times, I'm struggling. I mean, Patricia Cass has to be at the top of most people's lists. Amandine Bourgeois, Angun. Oh, there's so many. I can't pick. Yep, let's just go with those three. But yeah, Patricia Cass.
It's really hard, but I have to say that one of my all-time favorite. I mean, I'm not even going to talk about Évidemment because you guys know how much I love that song. But again, I'm with you, Nick. I wasn't the biggest fan of the performance, but the studio version of the song is like iconic for me. Loved it. But I'm having a look at this list, and if I don't call out also Patricia Cass, because I absolutely loved that as soon as I heard it. It's what is that style of music, Dylan? How would you describe that style of music? Not like kind of cabaret.
Patricia Cass?
That song specifically.
To me, it's like typical French music. It's something I've heard during my entire childhood. Iconic French or French-speaking singers like Céline Dion, Patricia Cass, Lara Fabian, Axel Red, all of them are more or less in this kind of vibe. I don't know if there is
the style of the music. I don't know if I'm explaining myself. It's kind of like old
1960s smoke-filled lounge bar.
Yeah, somehow. Like we just call it French music in French. La chanson française. I mean, it's just
But also a Sandrine Francois. Do you remember that one? Il faut du temps.
I don't remember honestly.
Il faut du temps. Does anyone remember this? 2002?
No.
It came fifth.
France has too many entries to choose from, to be honest.
But then I have to go back to the 90s, and I have to say, Il me donne rendez-vous. It just always gets me moving. Absolutely love that one. The year before as well, I can't remember what her name was. Je suis un vrai garçon.
Mm-hmm.
And this one's iconic for me, but White and Black Blues.
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh, love it, love it. So many good French entries. Lee Fan, I'm glad you know what song I'm talking about. Sondra, you guys all have to listen to this. It was such a beautiful song and did really well for France that year. Gingerbread, you call it French drama. Is that? There's a particular Dylan. I'm gonna split off the sound. I'm gonna send it to you because I'm not sure if I'm properly explaining what I mean. We've got some Rye Bailey as well. Loved Amir as well. I mean, that was really a comeback for France, wasn't it? When Amir came with Je Cherche. Absolutely loved that song. And what a great, I think it came 6th.
Yes.
For France. I mean, a lot of people were expecting it to win that year as well. Justin, you were on power saving mode, apparently. That's why your lights have gone out. ESC Manga, you're a Voila fan. Coraline, you're saying a Foulaine as well.
What's that one?
From last year. We've got Rye Bailey. You're saying France 2017, but the studio version was that Alma?
Yeah,
I think
Yes.
Fab, you're saying a great choice. Dylan, Amina should have won in 1991.
It's controversial here.
And Vikram Leon, you're saying imagine France winning Junior 2023 on home soil, just like Poland did in 2019. Oh, I'll be quite happy to go back to France every year because it's nice and easy for me to get to. But I mean, France at the moment, a real powerhouse when it comes to Junior Eurovision.
Yeah, if we could just, like upgrade to the actual contest, wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, well, you got a second place, and I know how that feels to get a second place. I think it was you, France, wasn't it? In 20, hold on, it's France, wasn't it? In the UK next
2021,
year.
yeah.
So close, but no cigar. Fab, you're saying French cabaret songs. We're still talking about that musical style, so I'm going to have a follow-up convo with Dylan because I'm desperate to find out. I want to hear more songs in that style. And also, you're saying that Sandrine Francois should have won in 2002 as well. Gingerbread, the woman who sounds like Celine Dion. Yes, that's her. She sounded lots of comparisons to Celine Dion for me. But guys, we've been almost an hour. I have to be honest, my throat is going. I've been needing to cough so much during this live. So we're going to have to wrap it up. Justin, I have to say props to you because it's not even 6 a.m. in Australia at the moment, is it? So thank you so much for getting up so early. And yeah, it's been quite enjoyed our boys' night tonight, eh? But I'm sure the girls will be back. The girls will be back in the next live. And guys, thank you so much for joining in. If you're not watching us live, make sure you throw your comments down below about some of the songs that we've spoken about and some of the countries that we've spoken about tonight. Also, go to Spotify and check out the latest edition of the Eurovoxx podcast, where Harry and Shanacy are talking about kind of their review of Eurovision 2023. Also, go and follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. And are we going to? I've heard about this Threads thing that's starting this week. We're going to have a Threads account as well soon, I guess.
I think it's launching tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken.
Tomorrow? Something else I need to learn how to use. But yeah, guys, thank you so much. Have a great evening, and we will catch you all very soon. See ya.